If you love Chevys, then this is the place for you. This is the Menards Chevy series, where we tour the country to find the finest race cars and rides that are part of the bowtie breed.
Hello and welcome to the Menards Chevy series. This week we're coming to you from amongst the citrus groves and the vineyards in Bakersfield, California. And true Chevy fans know that means one thing: Famoso Raceway, one of the most historic drag strips in the country. The place is packed with drag cars, it's packed with hot rods, it's packed with swap meet vendors, and it's packed with fun, as we're going to be out here all weekend long checking out the best Chevys that California has to offer.
(1972) Chevy C10 Crew Cab. It started off as a Suburban, and we cut that down to almost nothing, and kept the pillars in there. And the Suburban only had 3 doors then, so we cut out for the 4th door and just started fabricating. And there's a lot of piecing together and then stepping back and looking and saying, does that look right or not? You know, you got to have that what the factory should have did look. The original Suburban chassis has been stretched, you know, to fit the wheelbase that I was after. All the newer LS stuff, overdrive 4L60, truck drives down the road smooth with the overdrive. It's got a stall converter in it, and just a mild cam and headers. The suspension's all CPP lowering, so it's lowered right, so it actually has a nice smooth ride, and just a nice overall truck. I just like how it rides. My very first truck was a 72 yellow and white C10 with all the trim, and it was an actual Cheyenne. So I wanted to clone this into that same look. The interior's got 98 Suburban seats in it. The headrests are taken off to a low bucket. Overall stock style interior, but just kind of wanted that kind of an original look.
Time now for this week's Rock Auto Restored Award.
Some cars lead a charmed life, and this award winner is one of them. From famous passengers and the side of the car to a great and long-lasting relationship with the same family. Tim Miller, tell us the story of this beautiful 1957 Chevy Bel Air Wagon.
Well, both sets of my grandparents bought 57 Chevrolets like 2 weeks apart from each other, so I'm quite sure there was a little of the staying up with the Joneses thing going on. And they always told me as a little boy the car would be mine, and I really thought, hey, that's really cool. But when the day came, it was really painful because they passed away. So it's a bittersweet thing. Of course, I love those people, and these people are in this car. They're with me wherever I go.
This car, tell me about the interesting paint code. You don't see this color very often.
Well, actually, it was a very unpopular color in '57. It didn't sell very well, but actually it's worked out to my advantage because you don't see too many of them around.
What is the name of the color?
It's Dusk Pearl. Well, I got it in 1999, and it ran. It hadn't fired up in a long time, so when it did fire up, we took it down the road, it looked like a freight train, and I'm not exaggerating, just the smoke everywhere. But everything on the car has been rebuilt because it had to be. I never saw a car leak so much oil before.
What is the engine and transmission combination that's in the car?
It's a 283 Chevy engine, and it's got the Power Glide transmission, which is the really heavy cast iron one that everybody hates, especially the guys that work on them.
Well, Stephanie Miller, old cars are certainly not a one-man job, and this is very true in this situation because it's a man and a woman job. What's your role with this 57 Chevy?
I get the job of wax on, wax off, and the windows.
I can tell you're expert level because this thing is spotless. You must love spending time with this car and with Tim.
I do. We have a lot of fun. We go a lot of places. And we don't go those places unless we get to drive it.
You know, Stephanie, there's some fun elements to the car, but I know there's one element that's special to the family that's sitting on the front seat.
That would be grandmother's Bible. And Tim's mother used to work at a hamburger stand, and that's where we came up with the little tray on the window.
Well, and I noticed the VFW cap. Does that belong to your grandfather?
Yes, that's Grandpa's.
What is your favorite element to the car?
I guess just the thought that it was theirs and knowing that maybe they were still with us.
There's still more of the Menards Chevy series to come, including a valuable Vega sporting a twin-cam tweak. Stay with us. This episode of the Menards Chevy series is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping.
Welcome back to the Menards Chevy series. We're here in the pits at Famoso Raceway, and this is actually a Bill Thomas cheetah-bodied funny car. The Cheetah was built in the 1960s to compete against the Cobras on road courses. This one's got a tube chassis on it. It's got the flip-top style body on the top as well. You never really know what you're going to run into at a Menards Chevy series event, and that also holds true for our producers' picks. Well, the Menards Chevy show is all about family and having a whole bunch of fun, and we have a family that's having fun with a pair of really cool but pretty different Corvettes. Mike Farola, tell us about this beautiful crimson 1967 model behind us.
Well, I bought it when I was 20 years old, 1981. Had the original big block in it, original transmission, still to this day. 30 years ago, put a stereo system in it. All the diehard and purists, they kind of questioned me, but I like music, and if I want to put it back stock, that box just comes right out of the back seat. So, original motor, original transmission, put 17-inch rallies. When I was young, I got rid of the original rallies. It was one of the few things that I pulled off the car that I didn't keep. I was sorry, but still have all the original manifolds, valve covers, distributor, carburetor. So one day I want to put it back stock, put the leaf springs back under it, and we can do that. Everything can be done with an end wrench.
It's kind of cool. You've had this car for a long time, and the car kind of had a little hiatus when you went and did the dad thing, did the family thing, put the kids through school. And what got you back going?
When I wrote that last check to Cal State, it kind of hit me. I'm kind of used to writing these checks, and maybe Dad can start writing checks to himself. And a year and a half later, going through the suspension, going back through the motor, she's back on the road. Hallelujah.
But there's another Corvette in the Farola family that is on the road as well. This one, not quite a 67 model, but as you told us before, you may not have the cool factor of the 67, but you certainly got the horsepower edge. Chad, tell us about your Corvette.
And it's a 2015 Z06, bone stock. I haven't had any time to, customize it myself, but we think it goes pretty well together. It's a nice dynamic duo.
Absolutely, and is your dad to blame for this whole Corvette thing or what?
Yeah, he is. I really wasn't into cars that much up until he wrote that last check to Cal State. I got a job and he had time to work on his car, so I helped him a lot. We really put that whole thing back together, and that's when I started to not only like cars, but like Corvettes in particular.
So you got 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque, a 7-speed manual transmission. What's your favorite part of this thing?
The fact that I went from a 2001 Toyota Camry to a 2015 Z06, so I don't really know what's in between, so just the whole car itself is just a monster.
This week's DriveDuracell.com award winner is a beautiful ermine white 1966 Chevy 2. A little bit more special than that, though, is we have Larry Board, the owner of the car here. Larry, what's the deal on this beautiful white Nova?
Well, I got it with a 2-owner car, and it has original 52,000 miles on it. And it's a L79, 327, 350 horse with 11-in-1 compression, and the car weighs about 2,800 pounds.
The condition that it's in, and also the fact that we're in Bakersfield, California, would lead a lot of our viewers to believe that this thing has lived in California its whole life, but that's not the case, is it?
It was an Ohio car. It's been an Ohio car for about 40-some years, and then I got it in 2008.
Being an L79 car, a lot of people would assume automatically that it's a super sport. This car is not a super sport.
No, it's a bench seats with a 4-speed. I think there's probably maybe about 1,000 they made in a coupe. The highest one were the SS.
How long was the process when you got it back from Ohio to get it into the condition that it's in today?
The restoration was a frame-off restoration, and it took about a year, I would say, close to 2,000 hours.
It's an amazing piece. What drew you to the car specifically?
I always was a Chevelle and Corvette guy, and I always wanted a Nova, and it just happened I found this one, and it just caught my eye, and I had to have it,
Well, you got great taste. I mean, the white paint, the white steel wheels, and the red interior really kind of sets this thing apart. But I think every Chevy guy knows when you walk up and you see that air cleaner with the dual snorkels on the side, you're looking at something pretty special.
Yeah, it's special, all right. You don't give me it around anymore.
Well, very great, very nice car, very clean car, and we thank you very much for having it out here in Bakersfield. So that's this week's DriveDuracell.com award winner, this gorgeous 1966 L79 Nova. Now let's go check out one of our producer picks.
It's a model of Vega that they built in 75 and 76. It has the Vega motor, but it has a Cosworth head, which is a 4-valve dual overhead cam. They also included electronic fuel injection and comes with a stainless steel header. Ken Duckworth from Cosworth Engineering had approached General Motors when they heard they were building an all-aluminum small 4-cylinder engine, and they wanted to use it for Formula B. So when they approached General Motors, John DeLorean thought it'd be a good idea to stick it in a Vega and have a sports car to compete with the BMW 202s.
How popular was the car, in this particular car in particular? How rare is this car here?
It's wasn't that popular because of the previous Vegas, the issues with the previous Vegas. A lot of collectors had bought them because they were rare. The final production was 3,500 cars. They stopped production in March of 76 because of sales. So there was only 1,400 made in the 76 model.
And this one being special as a 76 because of the transmission?
Yes, they only made 700 with the 5-speed transmission.
In particular appeals to you about the Cosworth Vega?
It's the performance of it, of being a 4-cylinder, and the handling. I had owned previous Vegas, and I always thought that the Cosworth was kind of the epitome of the Vega.
Stay with us for more of the Menards Chevy series from Bakersfield, when we'll check out what has made Famoso famous.
Welcome back. You know, in the world of motorsports, there's a lot of sacred ground, and in drag racing, none of it is more sacred than the ground here at Famoso Raceway. Let's meet the folks that operate this historic facility.
Well, my first job here was at 8 years old selling programs, and I'm 48 now, so I know I don't look it, but now my dad and I actually own and operate the track, so it's been quite a journey. The track was built as a training facility for planes or pilots in World War II. After the war, the Bakersfield smokers discovered the property. In 1954, they began the drag strip. And in 59 was our first March meet, and that race has been running ever since, and so has the track. We definitely are a nostalgia track. We are an old school looking facility, old school feel. As far as our track though, it's up to date every which way, quarter-mile surface, CompuLink timing system, safety equipment. We're all modern in that area, but we kind of disguise it in a nostalgia look, so our bread and butter definitely is nostalgia scene.
Now let's check out the Original Parts Group Award winner.
This is a 1970 Chevelle Ss 454. At least it began life that way, but Jim Hunt, you've got a little bit more under the hood than that 454 that came from the factory.
I did. I took the 454 out when I bought the car, and we put a 502 into it, and it was probably the best move I ever made. It's solid.
Very clean installation. It looks like it should live under there. Now, this car is not just a street car. You've had this thing on the drag strip, I understand, as well.
I did. I had a lot of friends wanting to know how fast was the car. Everybody's always wanting to know, and so I did bring it out here to Famoso Raceway and ran it down the track 3 times, and the way she sets with the tires and nothing, no slicks, anything, she'll run 12 flat all day.
That is, yeah, that's moving for a big steel car like this, man. How long have you had it for?
I've had the car 12 years. It was an eBay find. I bought the car out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Once I got the car here, get the OPG catalog out and start ordering parts and having fun with it.
How many miles you put on the car? You get it out as often as you can?
We do a lot of car shows, and we travel around a little bit. We get it out on weekends. This is not a trailer queen. We do drive the car quite a bit and have fun with it. The roar of the engine, and you know, when you're driving the car, you feel like a movie star. People are waving at you all the time, and so it's rewarded me very well, no doubt.
When you were making the decision to put that 502 in there, was there any debate? Do I go with the 454? Or you see more than 500 cubes, you got to go that way, right?
Well, you know, I had the 454 and I blew it up, and I thought, well, should I rebuild it? But then I saw a video on television about how the 502s were made, and once I saw that video, that sealed it. I had to go get it, so I did, and it was the best move I ever made. It's bulletproof.
Well, Jim, a lot of the elements of this car are really straightforward, but there's one thing you got to explain to us. What's the deal with the license plate that says "Scare Me" on it?
Well, the license plate's funny. Everybody that comes in contact with this car wants a ride. And when I get them in the car and I take them out, I scare the daylights out of them. So they said, well, you scared me. So I thought, what a neat license plate that would be. So I came home got on the website. It was available. I couldn't believe it, so I ordered it. And whenever I go to a car show, people point it out all the time to me. They like it. So it's been fun.
Well, this Chevelle's real impressive, and we got some more impressive stuff to show you as we move on to another producer's pick.
1967 Chevy Camaro convertible. It started with my husband showing his 57 Chevy Bel Air. And sitting at car shows and watching him have all the fun, I decided I wanted one too. So I thought I wanted a 30-something Ford with a little rumble seat. And he looked around and looked around for it. Never found it. And then one day we were at a local car show and we were sitting next to a Camaro convertible. And I said, honey, I really like that car. It really surprised me, but a couple days later he had found one. So we went, looked for it, and ended up going to Omaha, Nebraska, and picking it up, and brought it back and played with it for a year or so, and then put it in the shop and waited forever for it to get done. It's a red current mica. It's a PPG, two-stage, and that was my builder suggested that I stay away from the candies. I really like candy apple. It's a beautiful color, but he said it would be impossible to truly catch it. So since we wanted to take it to car shows and have it on the road, we didn't want to have something that we couldn't fix up. We didn't want to just look at it. So this brings back memories, the drag strip, because my husband and I went to high school together and we started dating in high school. And I spent a lot of weekends at the drag strip, especially on Sundays. I'd bring a book and I'd sit in the car and then he and his buddies would mess with the engine, and then I'd get out of the car and they'd do their thing and come back and I'd sit in the car again.
Great story.
So this brings back memories on that.
Stay with us for more of the Menards Chevy series, because when we come back, we'll check out a 57 with a healthy dose of vitamin Z. This episode of the Menards Chevy series is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Minties, dental treats your dog will love.
Welcome back to the Menards Chevy Show here in Bakersfield, California. Nothing quite like cruising in California in a classic hot rod, but there's not enough Crisco in the world to get me in and out of that one. Good news is, I'd fit perfectly in this near 600 cubic inch powered 55 Chevrolet behind me. We found another beautiful Chevrolet. That's the next of our producer's picks. All right, Jerry, this 1957 Chevrolet, you call it the Z57. So take us front to back. Why do you call it the Z57?
Well, it's got an Art Morrison chassis, late model engine, LS 376, 480 horse hot cam. It's got bucket seats in it. It's got highly modified, a lot of body parts. And it's my idea of if GM made a 57 Chevy 150 today, they'd call it a Z57. The interior is, I'm not sure on the year, but I think 2000 Lexus. Bucket seats, custom console. It's got a 6-speed automatic in it, so I have a late model shifter with the push button on it, which personally I don't like. I'd rather have something old school. And stock steering with a custom Contour steering wheel. It's a thrill to drive. I've autocrossed it on occasion, and I also drag race it occasionally. I drive down the highway with a smile as big as big as a Cheshire cat. And my wife looks at everybody and she sees the thumbs up. I don't, because I'm concentrating on driving.
Our final award is from Minties, available at Menards, along with other fine True Science products.
The word Camaro has been synonymous with Chevrolet performance since 1967. We're here in Bakersfield with Jennifer Wingert, who has brought her cool Camaro here. Jennifer, tell us about this car and why it's so pink.
Why it's so pink? I actually fell in love with the Camaro when I saw the Transformer movie, and once I drove the V8, I fell in love with it, with the speed and the performance of it, and I happened to get the white, and then my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer and struggle. I saw the pain and the struggle that she went through, so I decided to remember that pain and struggling and put pink on my car as, you know, some kind of dedication for her for that.
Well, it's a very unique looking piece. You've done a nice job accenting the different parts of the body and all with the pink coloration. This is a 2SS car, right? So what does that mean?
More luxury, leather interior, heads-up display. It's an automatic, so it's got the gauges and everything.
Well, it must be nice to cruise this thing around. Obviously, you've racked up some miles on it, right?
27,000 so far. It's a daily driver.
Kind of what's your favorite element about the thing? I mean, what made you fall in love with the Camaro when you saw it?
Actually, I fell in love with it when I was 16 years old. I had a friend who drove a 1967 SS Camaro. Always wanted a Camaro, and then I've always been a Chevy girl, always. So fell in love with an IROC, and once I saw this, I had to get it.
Do you show the car often? You get out to cruise nights? How often do you get out with it?
I do. I'm part of a Chevy club. It's an all Chevy club here in Southern California. We do charity events, Motor for Toys. We do cruises through the Snake in Malibu, go to Neptune's Net, so yeah.
That's what it's all about. I mean, Chevy built these cars to get out and be driven, and you know, it's one thing we're here in Bakersfield enjoying soaking up the sun, but the real fun's driving it, right?
Yeah, last year I came here and ran her on the track, and she did 13.8.
Jennifer, the car looks beautiful under these blue skies here at Famoso Raceway in Bakersfield. You're a Mid-Tees Award winner. Congratulations.
Jennifer was joined by the other award winners at the closing ceremonies. And it was a fitting end to a great weekend here at Famoso Raceway that was filled with eye-catching rides and race cars.
Well, that's it for us here in Bakersfield, California. Stay tuned next week. We're going to be coming back to you with the best of the 2015 Menards Chevy Series show. For me, well, they're going to pay me in oranges this week, and unfortunately, they didn't tell me first. I got to go pick them.